everybody. Welcome to Smiling and Grinding, episode 3. We have special guest Guy Turner. Welcome, Guy, to the show. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Guy is the assistant to the mayor in Berea. He's a administrator for community affairs. And I've known Guy for about 25 years at this point, and he is one of the most smiling, positive people that I've ever met. And Guy, when I go back and edit this, I'm gonna put your LinkedIn face shot on here, man, so everyone can just see that smile. Um,
Right.
but I appreciate you coming on. I even did a little wardrobe for
Oh,
you,
there you go.
but with the Berea Brave shirt today.
I
But
like
yeah,
it.
man, so everybody, Guy is one of the most positive, smiling people I've ever met. Him and his whole family, they're absolutely great people. As far as grinding and everything, Guy has just really followed a path for kind of a chain of events that have led him to where he is now. Towards the end, I'll get to a little bit more kind of what I'm excited for. Hopefully, to see Guy doing in the next 10 years or so. Guy turning for mayor, 2035. We'll touch on all that stuff. So let's kind of start from the beginning, Guy.
Okay.
We kind of grew up in Berea together, worked together, things like that. Kind of got started together. So give everybody a little bit of a background as far as I would say maybe K through 12, kind of what you did, and then we'll get into the college years and kind of from there.
All right. Well, K through 12, man. We're talking Parknell Elementary School.
A long time ago for us.
It's a long time ago. Unfortunately, it no longer exists, right?
Yep.
And then Rame,
Yep.
which unfortunately no longer exists.
Right.
Berea High School, which unfortunately no longer exists,
Kind
right?
of depressing now that you're sitting there, they're walking through it. Maybe I should have just started at college, right?
Right. Is it, but with things, all things come and go, you
Yep.
know. And
Yep.
so, like anything else, you go to a place and you spend your time, and then it evolves, right? So they've since replaced those buildings with something new,
Yep.
and it's working out so far. And new is good sometimes.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I've got many a memories, many a good times at all three of those places. I've got nothing bad to say, man.
Yeah. Good.
You know.
And it's kind of things come and go and everything, and as far as grinding and everything like that, like you have a great personal brand out there, and people, your attitude is infectious, and people just want to be around you for the positivity and everything like that. So from high school and everything, you were a great athlete, and then went on to college. So what did you do in college? What did you major in? What were some of your activities? Kind of, share a little bit about that. Because that's obviously when people, you kind of start transforming a little bit and really start getting a path in life. College, what did you do? What did you major in? Everything like that.
So in college, I majored in early childhood education. So I have an associate's degree from Mercyhurst, where I played baseball.
Mm-hmm.
I spent 2 years there, and I played baseball. I was a captain my second year there, and as a walk-on, I earned a scholarship.
Wow.
Right.
Yep.
And so I went back to school. I was 23 when I went back to school to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I took myself out of Berea and went up to Erie and spent 2 good years there. And
Yep.
I was a captain on the baseball team, and I was a resident assistant there. So I was in charge of one of the residence halls,
Mm-hmm.
and they paid some of my tuition to do so. You know,
Yep.
and then I sat a year out and went back to Cleveland State in 2008, from 2008 to 2012, where I was a member of the cheerleading team.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that 4 years.
So let's not just gloss over that part. So, so you're obviously you're a strong leader, like I said, infectious personality, captain of the baseball team, Mercyhurst, right? RA, right? So you're leading kids that kind of trying to find their way away from home, right? I mean, the first time being away from home, a lot of them living by themselves. They don't have their parents, getting their food ready for them and everything like that. And they like to push boundaries as far as when it comes to what they're trying to do in their dorm rooms and everything. And you were there to kind of give them some guidance and playing baseball. And then all of a sudden, you just said you just jumped into that you were a member of the cheerleading team at Cleveland State. So how did that happen?
So I knew that when I went to Cleveland State, I had to do something. I wasn't just going to be a student there and come home back to Berea and do whatever. That's not my personality and that's not my makeup. So before I even got to Cleveland State, Brandon, I was on the internet, on the website, seeing what activities that school had to offer. And I saw rowing. I'm like, oh, this could be cool. It's probably difficult. And then I saw that they practice at 5 o'clock in the morning at the river down there. I'm like, yo, this probably not gonna work.
Deal breaker right there. 5 a.m. workouts. That's problem.
No, not so much. Okay. And then I'll never forget, man, 2 weeks into the school year, the girls from the team the year before, were all over campus. Hey, man, we need dudes to do this. I was like, man, I don't know nothing about cheerleading. Let me take a look.
Yeah.
And I went to a meeting. They talked. They say, listen, you don't need any cheer background. If you're an athlete, that's a plus. I'm like, well, I've done all kinds of stuff, of course.
Yeah.
And that's it, man. The girls came on campus. They brought a few guys in, and the rest is history. They taught me every single thing I needed to know
So
about
how was
cheerleading.
that? Like, how was learning those things? I mean, you don't know like the language, you don't know the what you call things. Like, just I mean, you literally started from scratch as a. How old were you at that point?
Oh, so this is '08, man. 27, I
You're
think.
old enough. You're old enough,
Old
right?
enough. I was about 27 years old.
Yeah.
You know, and it was difficult to learn, the language and the technique. That was the hardest thing to learn.
Yeah.
Because I was a big dude. I lifted weights. I'm thinking, oh, I could lift a girl. No, 100 pounds pushing over your head ain't the same as doing a press. Ain't the
Right.
same. So
Right.
I get in there, macho man. I'm gonna yank this girl up. It didn't happen. And they looked at me and goes, no, buddy, there's a particular technique you gotta learn to do it. You can't just go throw a girl up and say, I did it. It's gotta look good.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the learning curve was pretty big, but in cheerleading, you'll get out exactly what you put in.
Okay. And life too, right?
And that goes for anything you're doing in life.
Yep.
So there's hours of weightlifting and practice. And at some point, you've got to go outside of your team and find somebody else to teach you. So
Yep.
I went to a local gym and got help,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, it was one of the most rewarding things I've ever done in my life.
Yeah. That's pretty amazing. I mean, picking something up like that at the collegiate level as a 26, 27-year-old that has never done it before. And I would say, traditionally that especially the girls at that point, I mean, they start doing that intensely when they're like what, 12?
Yes,
It's
kids.
a very competitive sport.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, man. And so and it was it wasn't I was an athlete, and so I could pick up being the training, being a football player, you're doing two-a-days, you're doing all these different
Yeah.
things. And that part was easy part. The training, like the outside of the practice was easy. And
Mm-hmm.
I was used to that,
Mm-hmm.
especially coming from a college baseball program.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, listen, we practice every day, you
Yep.
know? Yeah, no, we practice, 2 days a week. And then the rest of the year, I'm like, oh man, well, I've got work to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Got to catch up, right?
Yeah, I had to catch up because,
Yep.
like you said, these girls, one of the first things they ever do is cheerleading and gymnastics.
Yep.
That's what they know.
Yep.
And because of what they wanted from a program, they needed men to come in here and do it.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't care. As long as you put the work in, they wanted you there
Yep.
because of what a co-ed cheerleading squad can do.
Yeah.
And that's exactly
So
what we did.
so you were doing that, right? And then that led you to something that's really cool, to be honest with you. You know, you were on the spirit squad for the Cavs. You know, so tell a little bit how did you get your foot in the door on that? I mean, that's really cool.
So, I was at my grandmother's house watching a Cavs basketball game.
Hmm.
This was this might have been 2015 or so. I can pull the email up and show you one day. And I was like, man, I didn't know they had cheerleaders. I saw a co-ed team on the court. I mean, how come I never heard anything about this?
Yeah.
I hit their website. I found their entertainment teams. I emailed this woman that ran the program. Hey, listen, I'm local. I'm right here. I will do whatever it takes. If you need a dude, I will come to you and we can talk business.
Yeah.
And maybe a month or so later, she emailed me back. She had me out. She gave me a look, and then she hired me to the team.
Really? So a month and a half later. So did you
Just like
do
that.
anything in the meantime, or did you just kind of wait, or how did that go? That's
So in the
interesting because usually,
meantime,
that's a long time.
it is,
Yeah.
but men doing cheerleading in Cleveland is it's not really established. It's
Hmm.
not that big up here. And
Hmm.
so I was working in the gym already,
Okay.
you know, and so I was always doing cheerleading no matter what.
Hmm.
So I was just prepared,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
Good.
So when she called me in, I was ready to go.
Yeah. That's great. And then how long did you do that for?
I did it up until 2000. I think it was 2018 after the Cavs won their last championship.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you get a
Yeah.
ring?
Heck yeah, I got a ring.
Yeah. That's
I
great.
sure did.
That's great.
Yeah.
Um, so after that, you start getting back involved with the city of Berea, right?
And the entire time I worked for the city.
The
I
entire
sure
time.
did.
Okay.
The entire time.
So at this point now, what are you doing for the city? And then kind of take me from the time from right now. You know, you're active in the Spirit Squad, you're active with the city, all the way up to how did you get to the point that you're at right now as assistant to the mayor? I mean, that's really cool.
Sure. So when I graduated Cleveland State, I was looking for jobs. I was looking for something full time. And
Hmm.
then this was 2012. And so I worked for the city. And I was like, well, I'm graduated now. I need to find a job. And
Yeah.
so we're talking a few months later, they hired me as a supervisor. I was like, I'm sold.
Hmm.
Here I am. Let's do it. And so I worked as a supervisor for the recreation department up until about 2 years ago. And then so I as a supervisor, I was with the Spirit Squad as a supervisor still. I did the whole Spirit Squad thing. It ended, and then I was assistant director at the rec center,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And then from there, this is 2021. The mayor hired me as a assistant to the mayor, administrator of community affairs.
That's really cool.
So from 2012, I was a supervisor. I would say about 15 to probably 15 to 21.
Hmm.
I was assistant director at the rec center. From
Hmm.
21 up until now, assistant to the mayor, administrator of community affairs.
All right. So, assistant to the mayor, administrator of community affairs. What does that involve? What do you what do you do? What's your day to day?
Day to day, or we're answering emails. People want to contribute, they want to volunteer, they have questions, they have comments, and they have criticisms.
Hmm.
Okay. And so my responsibility is the mayor can't do it all himself.
Yep.
He needs help to fill all these requests. And that's what I do.
Yeah.
People have questions about noise ordinances, nuisance complaints.
Yeah.
People are setting up events this weekend. I've got the Cub Scouts Pack 107s having a bike rodeo.
Okay.
Okay. The assistant Cub master reached out to me. He was looking for a little bit of help. The city of Berea came through.
Good. 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 That's
Uh,
great.
we, we have got outreaches. People want to help. People want to donate. Most of that it comes through me.
Hmm.
Okay, and if the mayor needs something and he can't be in two places at once, I will fill the need.
All right.
and that's just daily. I mean, obviously, things come up and things happen, and so
Yeah. So it sounds like, you kind of get in the office and you really don't know where your day might take you.
I can plan my day out, Brandon. It doesn't mean nothing.
Yep. Yep.
But I have a
Yep.
plan. I have a plan daily. There's always a list of things that have to get done. You
Yep.
know, but if something will come up and it takes my attention away, you know. So
Yeah.
I've got a framework that I
Yeah.
try to live by.
So how do you, you start your day, and then all of a sudden the day hits you, right? How do you stay calm and kind of avoid as much as you can feeling, overwhelmed and, and how are you able to not be overwhelmed and keep that positive attitude and keep helping people? Because that's what people are coming to you
People are
for, right?
coming.
Like every time someone comes to you, it's for some sort of help.
Hmm?
Help me with this, help me with that, right?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. And I'll take it back to I would say when I went to college, and you're on a baseball team,
Mhm.
you're an RA, and you're student teaching, and you've got three massive responsibilities. That kind of helped me handle pressure.
Yeah.
You know, I will probably never have that much pressure again where you've got, you're in bed at midnight and you're up at 7 o'clock because you've got things to do.
Yeah.
And it's just knowing that you've got things that have to get checked off,
Hmm.
and you've got to do it for people because they're counting on you.
Yeah. Yep. You don't want
You
to let
know,
them down, right?
you don't want to let them down.
Yep.
And so I've got a responsibility. It's in my job that I signed up for, and I knew what I was getting into.
Yep.
And so you just knock them down one at a time.
Yep. So, I think that's kind of a good segue into what's some advice that you would give to people? I mean, you have followed I don't know if I would call it non-traditional path, but you have really paved your own way to where you're at right now by reaching out, being proactive to do things that you've never done before, and kind of use some of your skills with your athleticism and your people skills and everything to do new things and get new exposure and everything like
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
What kind of advice would you give to people that are kind of in the same spot where they have a certain skill set and abilities and everything like that, but they don't know how to use them or don't know what they want to do or whatever it might be? Like, what advice would you give to people? Just open advice, as far as trying to either get started on your path or make a turn as far as where you thought you were going to go, or kind of what advice would you share with people?
I would tell people you've got to have a plan. Okay.
Mhm.
You've got to, whatever your skill set is, you've got to find a way to use it. Okay. And make yourself useful. It doesn't matter what situation you're in. If you're in a situation you don't want to be in, do the very best you can.
Mhm.
Okay. And then try to get in a situation that suits you. Now you've got to grind it out. You've got to do things you don't want to do. You got to do things that are difficult, right? So you've got to have some perseverance, okay? And you got to work hard,
Yep, absolutely. People
right?
forget that sometimes.
You forget.
Yeah.
There are many. I'm tired sometimes. You coaching teams. You've got to be up early in the morning. You've got to do things you may not want to do, but you also got to know that it doesn't have to be like your end.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you're not like limited to that.
Yeah.
You've got to pay your dues, and you've got to learn. That's the only way you're going to do it.
Exactly.
You've got
Exactly.
to hustle, and you've
Yep,
got
go
to
ahead.
grind.
Yep. Yep. Say that again. Say that last part again.
You got to grind.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
It's not like you only have your 8 to 5. You're a husband, you're a dad, like it's nonstop. And you don't get breaks
Yeah.
from those things, right? Where your
No,
work, which
man.
even with your job, you don't really even have an 8 to 5, right? I'm sure you have a lot of activities after work and everything like that when it comes to
Of course I
work.
do.
And then also coaching, being a husband, you got to go on dates and everything like that. You
Right?
got to keep that going. So it's like, it's nonstop. It doesn't get any easier. It doesn't
No,
get
no,
any
it
easier.
doesn't. And I've got priorities,
Hmm.
right? I'm a husband. I've got a job that's demanding. I coach two different teams now.
Yeah.
My break from coaching is going to come at the end of July. You know, but it's what I want and it's what I'm willing to do to get what I want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Real simple.
Yeah. Well, if you're coaching, if you get a break at the end of July, I start coaching football August 1st. So, I might be, I might be giving you a call now that I know that you're free. You got nothing else to do.
I think I'll be asleep from
Yeah. Right.
July to
Right.
like September, right?
Right. So let's kind of close with this. So, what's next for you? Like, what do you see coming next for you? Like, what are there any things that you kind of have that you want to accomplish or that you want to try? Like, what's next for Guy Turner?
I don't really have a plan for what's next. I didn't plan to be in the role that I'm in. It
Yeah.
happened out of a need, right?
Mhm.
So I'm here, and if there's a need for me to be somewhere and to do something, I'm there. I'm doing it,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So I don't. I'd love to say, listen, in 3 years I'm going to be doing this, or in 4 years I'm doing that. If it happens and I'm available, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I'm when I post this, I'm going to hashtag Guy Turner for mayor in 2035. I'm going to start getting that movement going right now. We'll start getting some yard signs going and everything, man. But
You were about to set my phone on fire.
oh man. So listen, man, I appreciate you being on. Like I said to start off, I think that you're one of the most positive, smiling, infectious people that I've known. And like I said, it's been 25 years that we've known each other. And I think that people will benefit from listening to your story and how you do need to work hard and take life for what it is and make the most out of it. So
You do, man.
yeah. So I appreciate you coming on, Guy. And I wish you the best of luck. And we'll get you going in 2035, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
All right, guy. Appreciate it. Have a
All
great
right,
day.
brother. You too.
All right.